you know what a bedroom community is, and it's essentially a suburban area where many residents sleep but work outside the community, and it's a city characterized by residential rather than commercial growth. So with the group of folks that are here tonight, with a show of hands, how many think we are actually becoming a bedroom community? Raise your hand. And it looks like the large majority of you. So the question then becomes, do we want to be a bedroom community? And that's basically an overbalance of residential development, which creates a strain on every public system and an increase in property taxes. So do we want our community and our tax base to be solely based on residences and the incomes of those individuals who live in those households? So we looked to see what we could do ultimately to change that focus and also diversify our tax base so that we don't have a strain on our tax base based solely on residential. So we want to try to figure out a way, and one of our goals is to figure out a way to develop a quality, diversified, stable tax base. And one of the things we want to do is provide diversified housing choices from starter homes to middle and upper income homes. Because if you think about the city of North Ridgeville, and you think about the different areas, and I don't know if all of you are super familiar with Ward 1 versus Ward 2, Ward 3, and Ward 4, but North Ridgeville really has mostly a bunch of starter homes in it, and some senior citizen homes as well. And there's not a lot of homes that are middle to upper income, larger homes, whereas if you drive outside of the community, you go into Avon and you go into Westlake, and you see those more of a variety, and you see quite a lot of middle to upper income homes. So one of the things that we wanted to do, in addition to diversifying our housing stock, was to also bring commercial development here, but to continue on the diversification of our housing stock, we really wanted to figure out a way to bring in some more middle to upper income homes, because what happens is we've sort of become a farm team for Avon and Westlake. So if, let's say, for example, you're a fellow in your mid-30s with a family and you have 2 kids, and you're looking to have a 3rd child, and you have a decent income, you know, your house is probably a little bit tight, so you want to expand into a larger home. We have some very, very nice developments, such as the Bob Schmidt development and also Waterbury. But if you drive up 83 into Avon, you see homes galore that are in that upper income range. So what happens is we sort of grow the people here and we get them on their feet, but then we send them on their way outside of North Ridgeville. We want to retain those folks. We want to do that by diversifying our housing stock, and we'll be talking about that a little bit more. In addition to that, we want to really promote our city's assets in order to increase commercial development so that we aren't just a residential community, and so that we don't just have a diversified housing stock, but we have quite a bit of commercial development as well. So how do we do that? And one way we do that is by promoting our city's assets. Like I indicated, our citizens are our #1 asset, and you're going to hear about our citizens throughout this program. But our other 2 major assets are our open land and our highway access. So what we need to do, though, is we need to preserve some of that open land so it doesn't automatically become homes. Because what happened was, in the '97 master plan, some of that open land essentially turned into homes. In the '97 master plan, some areas were soft targeted to be commercial without really going to the full change in zoning, and those soft targeted areas became homes. And the example is Cypress Station. I don't know if you are all familiar with that, but Cypress Station's off of Bagley Road, and it's behind the railroad tracks and the Autorama. It's sort of a development that's going on along there, and that was really an area targeted for commercial development. So if we're not careful and we don't actually rezone, then we're going to lose these soft targeted areas to homes and not have them preserved for commercial development to diversify our tax base. So we need to target special areas for commercial development. We need to preserve land for commercial development rather than residential development. Why do we need to do that? Well, in review of the '97 master plan goals by the year of 2015, the '97 master plan had a little bit of a different focus than this master plan had. In '97, there was a housing boom going on, and Ridgeville wanted to jump on that bandwagon of the housing boom. And so the '97 master plan set these goals by the year of 2015, which we haven't reached that yet. They wanted to encourage the development of residential neighborhoods and have an 85.1% residential development in our city, with only 2.6% business and 2.8% industrial, and 9.4% public, which is basically parks, lands, and the like. So essentially the 97 master plan wanted us to become a bedroom community because I think they were concerned about losing some of that housing development. And their focus was really on residential development as opposed to business, because business and commercial was only 5%. However, while this master plan had hindsight in 2020, and hindsight is 2020, we sort of shifted that pendulum, and we swung that pendulum to focus really more on commercial development and sort of slow down the residential development for the following reasons. Some good things that the old master plan did that were very good things was that they did not want acre after acre of look-alike houses on treeless lots. And if you look around our community, we have to question whether or not we have succeeded in that process or not. And the other big thing they wanted was to encourage low-density residential areas. What does low-density residential areas mean? It means larger lot size and less homes per acre. And the question is, have we achieved that as well in the last 10 years? And then the big thing that they projected was 12,520 total dwelling units, 12,520, by year 2015. Now these are important numbers and statistics because we didn't really go as they envisioned. We actually didn't go at all as they envisioned, and we haven't really encouraged low-density residential areas. And instead of 12,520 dwelling units, we have managed to surpass that. Everybody, this chart is going to be blown up for you. It's tough to read. But this is the statistics for new residential construction for the city of North Ridgeville. And it really starts in 2000, shortly after the master plan, and these are the number of home units that have been built, the total units constructed, and then here's the total projected units, and total units to be constructed, and then the percentages. But to blow up the highlighted area, in the city of North Ridgeville, in 2000 we had 8,587 homes. In 2008, which is now, we're at 11,833 homes. If you go back, if we're at 11,833 and they projected 12,520 by the year 2015, we're way ahead of schedule. Oops, sorry, wrong way. I don't use these things right. And then the big number that is of great concern is future units approved. These are units, these are homes that actually are on the books. City councils approved them, planning commissions approved them. So we have 4,000 homes roughly that are still coming to Ridgeville no matter what. And there's nothing we as city officials, and I'm not a city official, I'm just a volunteer like everybody else, but there's nothing our city officials can really do to slow or stop those 3,872 homes. And if you add those homes that are on the books, we're at 15,615. So what is that percentage increase since 2000? It's an 82% increase. That 82% increase in housing in the last 10 years is of great concern because for two reasons. One, our land's disappearing, which is one of our greatest assets, and we want to preserve that for commercial growth. And our tax base is quickly becoming based on these homes and not on commercial growth. So we need to reevaluate and reflect and slow our growth down a little bit and establish a smart growth and land management plan with principles to diversify and expand our tax base. And if we do that, I think we'll be on solid footing. Now, we don't want to discourage home building. Of course, we want to encourage it, but at the same time, we need to diversify our housing stock, and that's probably the most important thing that we really need to do in the city so that we can retain citizens all the way through from basically childhood all the way up through senior citizen and adulthood, so people can have the larger homes if they so desire and raise their families. So what did the master plan propose? We proposed that the residential zoning change. We have R1 zoning right now. And R1 zoning allows for some low density, but also allows for high density in certain areas. And basically, if there's a large development platted, there's low density in some area that ultimately they borrow from Peter or